Whale's Tail in Lincoln, New Hampshire is the best water park in all of New England. Nestled in the White Mountains, Whale's Tail does not have as many attractions as some of the region's other water parks. Instead, this water park focuses on quality. The signature slides at this park are some of my favorites anywhere, and the park complements this with top-notch customer service. So in this video, I will explain why you should visit Whale's Tail if you're a fan of water parks and find yourself in the New England region. Whale's Tail opened over 3 decades ago, and the 17-acre water park looks great. It's a rather narrow park, but it's very well landscaped. The north end's midway actually circles around a small pond, and the park has a lot of green space where guests can freely relax. The one odd thing about this park's appearance are the slide killers. Outside of a few slides on the water play structure and the relatively new Poseidon's Voyage, every single slide at this park is blue, and is pretty much the same shade of blue as well. So I'm not sure if Whale's Tail's owners really love that color, or they got a great deal on paint, but it is sort of weird to have a water park with so little variation in the color of the slides. This isn't really an issue because the slides do look good, it's just an odd quirk with this park. Another difference is that Whale's Tail requires visitors to sign a liability waiver before even entering the park. This can be done at the park entrance or online before you arrive. It's not really a big deal for me, but it is rare to see this document done at an amusement park or water park. I've typically only seen these at adventure parks for mountain coasters. Continuing on the arrival process, you have a few ticket options for Whale's Tail. Summer day tickets will cost you anywhere from $45 to $50 without any discounts as of 2021. If you visit earlier or later in the season, admission is usually a little bit cheaper, but your best savings will occur if you take advantage of the afternoon specials. If you arrive after 3 p.m., you have 2 deals. The first is a visit for that afternoon alone for roughly half the cost of a day ticket. Or you can visit for the remainder of the day and get the next day for just $5 more than standard admission. These 2 afternoon specials can only be purchased at the park, but they're the best deals to experience Whale's Tail. And even if you only have 2 to 3 hours at the park, it's usually possible to do all the major slides multiple times. My most recent visit took place on a sunny summer Saturday, and the longest line I saw was maybe 15 to 20 minutes for any of the tube slides. The extreme body slides were no more than a 5-minute wait. My past visits took place on a cloudy Sunday or weekdays, and I can't recall waiting more than 5 minutes for any slide. In short, this is a great park if you hate long lines. Unlike most parks that have an endless sea of lockers, Whale's Tail only has a handful. I've actually seen them run out of lockers on quite a few visits. But don't worry, when this happens, you can check your bags or keys at the gift shop. It is a little less convenient than a locker, but I'm glad the park has this policy to account for this issue. In general, the service at this park is excellent. The employees are super friendly and outgoing. 2 experiences in particular over the years stand out. First, Bonsai Pipeline is a tube slide where you can only ride in pairs. I had no luck finding another guest to ride with, and in one of my visits, the park called a lifeguard to ride with me. I don't know if that guard was on break or not, but I hope he enjoyed the ride as much as me. Second, the employee working Poseidon's Voyage a few years ago was downright crazy, but in the best way possible. After closing the drop pod, he was pressing himself against the pod and banging against the glass. It was a comical sight that I doubt you'd ever see at a corporate park. Another really cool feature this park offers is the weather guarantee. If the slides have to close for weather at any point in the day, you have 2 options. You can either wait out the storm and likely have minimal crowds the rest of the day, or 2, you can choose to leave the park and you get a rain check to return based on the time that attractions close. So for example, if a storm closed everything at 1:34 p.m., you can return after 1:34 p.m. any day for the remainder of the season. Or you can return for a full day and take the prorated amount off your daily admission. That beats a lot of parks that can close with no compensation. Moving on to the slide lineup, Whale's Tail doesn't have as many slides as the other major water parks in New England, but I think Whale's Tail has the best quality, especially if you love thrilling water slides. They have the 2 best water slides in the region. The best is Bonsai Pipeline, a half-pipe water slide. I have a separate review, but this slide has a steep plunge into the half pipe that gives a tiny pop of airtime. Then you have a frightening climb up the half pipe. This section not only is a scary visual because there's no bumper at the end of the slide, but you also get some weightlessness on the way down. And then you fly over this airtime hump while you're usually spinning. This hump does look innocent off-ride, but it delivers a shocking pop of airtime. Just know you need to ride this ride in pairs, as I noted earlier. The second best slide, by a slim margin, is Poseidon's Voyage. This drop pod slide is the park's most intense attraction without a doubt, and it's one of the best drop pod slides anywhere. The initial plunge is very steep, and you get a true free-falling sensation. You then whip around a fast and forceful low turn. The whole ride is a blur, and unlike some body slides, this one is extremely smooth. On the same tower as Poseidon's Voyage are two other pairs of body slides. First you have the Plunge, which is a dueling, double-down speed slide. This slide builds up some good speed, especially in the second drop. The runoff can be a little jarring because you can horizontally slide in the trough, but it's thankfully not too bad in your back. Now speaking of awkward runoffs, the king of that is the downpour body slide next door. At the end of this slide, you have a wall on one side, and then the slide angles diagonally into the water. So you sort of slow down, and then you slowly slide into the water. I've never seen this kind of runoff before. As for the slide itself, it was much faster in past visits. In my recent visit, I came to a stop towards the start of the slide, and I struggled to build up any speed until halfway through the ride. This changed the slide from one of my favorite traditional body slides to a merely decent slide. The final body slide is Eye of the Storm, a body bowl slide, which is very rare for the region. This one has a fast drop and a wicked turn into the bowl. You can feel some of the seams in your back, but it is fairly comfortable overall. But the highlight of this slide is the awkward fall into the bowl. Sometimes you'll go feet first. Other times you'll go head over heels. This one is for strong swimmers only. Compared to a lot of water parks, Whale's Tail doesn't have too many tube slides. You have just two in Beluga Boggin and Harpoon Express, both of which are average for the genre. For the kids, you have Shipwreck Island, a giant water play structure. And then for the littlest guests, you have Whale Harbor. Both areas were colorful and seem to be popular amongst children. For the non-water slide attractions, you have a flow rider on Akua Beach. Now I'm awful at these, but it is possible to do spins and barrel rolls if you know what you're doing. Then you have the obligatory lazy river and wave pool to relax in. In terms of food, I have never purchased anything at Whale's Tail, so I can't comment how good it is. So do I recommend Whale's Tail? If you're a fan of water parks and are in the New England area, absolutely. The park is clean, well run, and the top end slides at this park are great. Bonsai Pipeline, Eye of the Storm, and Poseidon's Voyage are three of the best water slides in New England. The park's premier attractions are on the more thrilling side, so if you prefer gentler water slides, I would maybe recommend a place like Water Country over Whale's Tail, but based on my tastes, this is easily my favorite water park in New England. So those are my thoughts on the Whale's Tail Water Park. What are your thoughts on this park? Have you been there? I would love to hear your thoughts about this water park down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.